Alrighty, hey yo, what is up, Knights? Aegis right here, back with some more DFORUSH. This time on my Shadow Dancer. Now, as you guys can see, this character is yet another one who is also level 86. If you guys watched the last video on my Striker, I explained that this weekend we kind of went hardcore on the leveling, and a lot of my main characters, which I consider my Shadow Dancer one of the main characters I like playing, is, you know, we already got to max level on a lot of them, but either way, the level, like I said, is not all that important. Just want to show off all the characters, and I'm kind of happy that we've already gotten max on this character. But on the topic of leveling characters, I will say this. I did want to make a point at some point in this video that, you know, the Shadow Dancer, you guys should know, is, if you've been keeping up with DFO lately, is one of the most recent classes that was added into this game. And I do want to give it a lot of credit where it's due to Neopol, because it's surprising, honestly, to me, and I don't know really what to attribute this to. I mean, it could be my dedication to the class, or really I think most of it is the sheer fact that Neopol's made it very easy to catch up with classes. You can imagine this class was released about, you know, a good year after all other classes, and see, even yet this one has found its way up there. You know, if you really cared about the class a lot, instead of just leveling it for the events and stuff, if you really capitalize on all the events, I mean, I know people who've gotten their Shadow Dancer like full sets already, like that quickly. So Neopol's made it easy. I'm actually getting comboed really badly here to catch up on these kinds of classes, and even though they got released late, and that's just really nice. In fact, we haven't talked about my gear right now, but we do have a 3-piece Song of Death. Like I said, they gave a lot of these for free, and we have been doing a little bit of OV here. I don't have enough OV runs to actually get the necklace for the Song of Death set, but you'll notice I do have a lot of tainted pieces for the Shadow Dancer. And one thing I will mention about the Shadow Dancer is that she actually gets probably the best benefit out of any tainted gear off of just one piece, because you can buff up Assassination, which I have on pretty much all the tainted pieces I do have, and I think unanimously people agree that the Assassination skill is probably the strongest single target damage skill in the game. I mean, I don't think there's much dispute there. It's definitely up there, if not. Actually, I'm going to say it's the strongest single damage skill in the game. Has so many effects, and especially when you get the Song of Death set as a whole, that will be even more clear, you know, just killing that guy in 1 second kind of thing. But that guy's kind of weak as a boss anyway, but you get the idea, right? If you get the tainted pieces on that, it's just boosting that to tremendous, massive levels. But so the tainted pieces are, when you get one, you should be pretty excited. You know, it's like, oh, you don't need a set piece; you could just run around with tainted pieces. But yeah, guys, as I was mentioning, the Shadow Dancer, you know, catching up. Like I said, a lot of people have already gotten full 9-piece sets of the Song of Death, and you know, or the Biting Wind, I think, or Biting Touch for this skill right here. Either way, whichever set you get, people are getting it already, and that's after the fact that this class was released late. So really awesome, and I'm not as mad that this class took so long to get released now, because, you know, I was worried. It's like, well, you know, what about those people who actually wanted to play this class this whole time? Well, now they have no excuse, right? Because it's out, and it's pretty easy to gear out because of all the events and stuff. So stop knocking me down, dude. I haven't really showed off this character. I don't think I've ever done a PvE video on this character. This character's very unique, and come on, please, with the knockback. This character is very unique because it focuses around getting back attacks, and there's a couple ways. Main way you're going to do it, honestly, is going to be with the Shadow Cut. You use the Shadow Cut, it'll teleport behind them automatically, then you can use a skill. If you hit with a skill while they're back attack, or depending on which one you use, kind of depends on what the damage is, but it's a scales off of how much damage you do. But you can tell that I have this shadow aura behind me, and whenever I hit with the skill with the back attack, it will actually hit everybody comparable damage. So it's kind of, this class is primarily a single target class, but because of this buff effect, you can actually do AoE damage, massive AoE damage, I should add, very easily right there. He turned around in the last second. There's another a couple alternate ways you can get and hit that back attack off. I'm not really hitting them right now, but you can also dash through people and now give them a tiny bit of hit stun where you can actually get the dash attack off. You can also do you can do 3 hits of your basic attack, and that will turn them around so you can use a back attack. So there's a lot of different ways to turn people around. But generally, the shadow cut is the safest, as long as there's no enemies behind them to keep knocking you down. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to sell real quick, and I'll be right back. Actually, I'm going to keep all these whites. Actually, trying to farm up a few white souls since I don't have any. Actually, a lot of the quests right now, you know, I have a lot of clear cubes right now. Not really. 160,000 is not a lot these days because of the amplification and stuff. But there's a quest near the end of your leveling run that requires that you have a bunch of cubes. You need 5,000 white cubes to complete that quest, and it's a feat quest, so pretty much all my characters had to do it. So not cheap, obviously. This thing's gonna get pretty expensive. So. But yeah, other features of this class, I mean, basically this is the gimmick of the class, right? And that's why I honestly, you know, I like my rogue since he's so powerful, but this class is a little bit more technical to play, right? You have to kind of utilize the system, and if you don't, you just don't do any AoE, right? When doing this move right here, this move is massive damage. That move is comparable. I love that skill because it's like another assassination, right? It's like having 2 assassination, which kind of highlighted the best thing about this class, assassination, and then made it another skill that does the same thing, right? It's just like double. I guess one last thing that's kind of technical about this class is that she has a shadow trip, which I am using to move around, but mostly it actually has utility in the fact that you can actually cancel some of your moves with the shadow trip, and I'll explain that here. I'm going to use this move called the Final Destruction and then cancel it with the shadow trip. And actually what it does is it completes the animation for you, and you can dash out of it. What it does is it summons a shadow clone to complete the skill animation for you. And you can do that for skills that have long animations like the Final Destruction, but not all of them, obviously. So I can do it for this skill right there. You see that I had a shadow clone completing the animation of that attack. It's kind of obviously it's a feature to be able to chain your skills faster, so you know, at least spam more skills at once. But you can also, you know, use it as a hold like that. So I use the Final Destruction I use it as a hold so I can hold them a little bit longer so I can get behind them again and then use Assassination during the time too. So it's a really, you know, using all of that in conjunction with the back attack, you know, bonuses that you get from all of your skills. I didn't mention that, but you know, your skills work differently whether or not you hit them in the front or the back. So the Assassination, you know, it has that cool, like, awakening-like animation that does the extra damage. So if you only hit it from the front, it actually doesn't do that. It doesn't do anything, actually. It looks like a normal slash kind of thing. So it's imperative that you get these back attacks off, right? Like if you don't get the back attacks, you don't do hardly any damage. That's just a payoff. And I kind of like classes that are punishing like that. Like you have to play a certain way, otherwise it doesn't do damage. A lot of the reason why I don't like, or I love my Elven Knight is because she's much the same way. If you don't utilize the chain rush system, and you maybe you're just not good at it or whatever. If you're not using it, then flat out you're not going to do any damage on it. So it's very unforgiving, I understand, but at the same time, very satisfying when you get it done, right? Kind of forces you to play this way, and if you don't play that way, well then you're just not going to be efficient at the class. So. But honestly, I really do like that extra challenge in the game, aside from just, you know, using the skills and being strong all the time. There are other classes that can do that. Like I said, Rogue is one of them. You know, you can be strong and don't have to worry about any of that. You just have to worry about, you know, how your buffs are. Azura, another class, a perfect example about that. So, you know, just different play styles. Like I said. Playing through the classes, hopefully I'll be able to show that off as we go through my last run here. Hopefully I'll be able to show off a little bit more. Here's the Assassination from behind. Man, that 5,000 damage, man. So beautiful. Hopefully I'll be able to show off at least a little bit of how the different classes play that I own. I can mention things like this that maybe you wouldn't understand if you didn't play it beforehand. Didn't really understand how the class works. This is one of those classes that really has one of these technical aspects to it, where it's not a matter of, you know, using your skills, you know, whenever you have them off cooldown. So using your skills when you can use your skills. And if you don't do that, if you just want to use them when you come off cooldown, you just don't do a lot of damage, right? You just you don't do it right, I guess. I guess is a good way to put it right there. as we fight one of the most annoying bosses in this region. Not the most annoying, I'll have you know, the special dungeon boss right there. You can actually pick up enemies off the ground. I did not mention that. Oh, right there is a normal assassinate, which only did a fraction of the damage it normally does. So, again, something you got to keep an eye out for. But use our first awakening. Let's see how this works. It's a big explosion skill. A lot of classes has this kind of awakening. Oh, he canceled me mid go here. Oh man, what a guy. Whoa. Okay. Like I said, one of the more annoying bosses because of this shit. He loves what is he doing? It's like he's trying to get to me and he keeps crashing. Look, he's stuck in between these two. Okay, that's awesome. I should do this more often. Apparently he kept crashing in between those two terminals right there. Did you see that? Usually what he does, he just keeps going left, right, all the way across the screen and has super armor, so you can't stop him. You can't even grab him. So, but man, do that more often, guys. Pro strat. Get him stuck in between these terminals right here, and maybe he won't be nearly as annoying. But anyway, guys, there's a little bit of Shadow Dancer as I got canceled out of my awakening here. So these like shadow clones are like primed to strike. They never will though. What a sad day for these Shadow Dancers. But anyway, guys, there's a little Shadow Dancer action. I really got to sell more items, man, and get more cubes or disassemble. And I will catch you knights later.